Hi, I wanted to do something a bit different today and just walk you around my home office. It's a bit of a crappy day outside. It's pretty gloomy and raining down here in Devon. So I figured I get a few questions in terms of like what's in my office, what do I use in terms of gear, all that kind of stuff. So I thought I'd just give you some insights into what my office looks like, what I've got in here, how it allows me to run my business. It's not groundbreaking. It's just a normal home office because thankfully I have an online business, so I get to work at home. It's great. So I just wanted to share what exactly I have in my office so you can get some insights into my day to day, and hopefully it gives you some inspiration in terms of what to potentially get in your own office if it's lacking. Your office is probably better than mine. It's probably cleaner than mine. I just don't care. This works for me. It's very functional. That's the most important thing. It's a functional office that allows me to get the work done when I'm in here, because I'm only in here for an hour a day, actually working on the business, if that, sometimes even, not even at all. I don't even turn the computer on. It's great. But when I am in here, I want to make sure it's nice and focused. So I'll stop talking and just show you what's going on. So obviously, the primary control center, if you want to call it that, is my actual office section in the room. I've got a usual standing desk thing, electrical jobby. You just push the button and it kind of raises up if I want to stand up. I don't use it that often, to be honest. I just sit down most of the time. But if my back's hurting, which it does often, I will make sure I stand up and just give my back a bit of a break by just standing like a normal human being for half an hour. I try and do that a couple times a day if I'm in here for too long, just to kind of mix things up. On top of that, got a wonderful Hermes, I think it's called, office chair, which is great. It's comfortable, but I've got a few extras to ensure it's optimized. So I have this. It's called a wedge, and you basically, when you sit on it, it rotates your hips forwards, so it stops you from slouching, basically. So obviously, your arse is here, and as you can see, it's got a wedge element there, and it just rotates your hips so you can actually sit properly, basically. On top of that, I've got this earthing mat here. You may think earthing's woo woo, but it really isn't. I've been using earthing in some capacity for over a decade now, and I notice a huge difference when I use it and when I don't use it. Because often, again, I get back pain, lower back pain. I was in a huge kind of accident many years ago when I was in the band. Since then, I've had issues with my lower back because I hit my lower back quite hard in the accident. So I've always had issues with it. I've had a scan where my coccyx and like the bones around it have been like degraded from the crash. So I'm always in like I have some sort of pain. But when I'm touching an earthing mat, either here or I have one in my bed, it reduces inflammation so much more than anything else I've ever done. It's critical. So I'd always suggest getting one, even if you don't believe in it. Try it and find out. It's pretty anecdotal when you actually try it, to be honest. So that's my seating when I am sat down. Then actually on the office side itself, I've got this monitor. This is the Alienware. This is the newest one. It's a 32-inch Alienware OLED. It's the best display I've ever seen, to be honest. It's better than my TV I've got downstairs. It's really good. It's pretty expensive, but it's a curved monitor as well, so it kind of just wraps around your eyes, and I love it. It's really good. I'd highly suggest it. On top of that, I've got a Razer Ultra Pro, I think it's called. It's a webcam, but it's like a DSLR grade webcam. It's really good. So yeah, if you do a lot of Zoom calls, you do record a lot of content, highly recommended for recording content in general. But alongside that, you can't see it in here, I've got a Sony A6400 behind this that I record my YouTube ads on and some of my content on, because it's just a few levels up from the webcam. It's a very good camera for the cost. It's pretty inexpensive. You can get them very cheap secondhand these days, but it does a really good job. And as you can see, it's linked up to this. I've got like a little boom arm that kind of pulls out, and this is an Elgato teleprompter. Because when I'm recording videos, when I'm recording ads, obviously if you've got a script, I've tried it in the past. I've done many ads where I've tried to remember the script, and it's just my brain doesn't work that way. So I just have the script on the screen, and it has something called a live listen function, or some sort of name, where you start talking, it recognizes what you're saying, and it starts to move the lines accordingly. Really cool. So you plug it into your PC or Mac, and it basically acts like a second screen, and you just drag and drop the app onto this, and it reflects whatever you show on here on there. Obviously, you can even use it for Zoom calls. So if you're on a Zoom call, you can drag and drop Zoom onto this second screen, and it just shows Zoom there. So you can just see people and talk to them directly into the camera. Just, it's very cool. Highly recommend it for sure. Also, on gloomy days like this, I've got a Lumi light panel. Ordinarily, it's obviously going to be facing this way, and that just gets beneficial daytime light frequencies on your face, just so you don't miss out on all those benefits, really. So that's the Lumi light panel right there, and I'll turn it off for now because it's very, very bright. This side I've got a Samsung, what is it? It's an SM7B. It's like one of the best microphones you can get. It's why all the podcasters use this microphone. It's like 300 quid, but I've had it for 5-6 years now. You don't get any better than that. So it's worth investing in something properly once, rather than just buying crappy little USB microphones here and there. It's just if you're going to do it properly, basically. And that's on a Gator Frameworks microphone stand that just clamps to the side of my desk here. Again, very nice and sturdy. I've bought a few in the past on my Amazon, and they've been really cheap and flimsy, and they're just awful, basically. So again, I think this was maybe £100, but again, worth it. And that's plugged into what is this called again? A Scarlett Solo mixer, basically. You just plug the microphone straight in here, and that plugs via USB into your computer. Again, it just processes the sound, basically. And it's got like a little preamp on there. Just makes you sound really good out the gate. You don't have to really do anything. You don't have to change much. I don't edit any of my audio. It just goes straight from the microphone, straight into the computer, and it's fine. It sounds great to me. I could maybe tweak it and maybe change it a bit better, but I want efficiency rather than having to fanny about and doing loads of stuff. So that's the computer. Pretty straightforward, really. I also have this is a NeuroSim heart rate variability device. It just clips into the inner earlobe. You run that for 20 minutes while you just do work, and it just obviously helps regulate your central nervous system. I do that every single day. It's critical, I think. On to the actual computer itself. So I've been a Mac guy for the last 15 odd years. Before that, I was a PC guy, but I stopped playing PC games. Recently, I'll show you why in a minute, but I got a very over-the-top gaming PC. It's a Williams eSports PC. It's just pre-built. I couldn't be bothered to build it myself. I just got it out the box. It's like the top configuration you can possibly get. It doesn't get any more over-the-top and ridiculous than this. It's got all the stupid fancy lights. Incredibly powerful. And on here I've got these are like sticky whiteboard. Well, it's not a sticky, it's like a little plastic sheet that goes in your wall, and it works like a whiteboard, basically. As you can see, I did that for some recent training on my YouTube channel. And you just use it as a normal whiteboard. You can wipe it off, you can clean it off, you can reuse these, and they literally just stick on the wall with static. And then when you're done, you just take it off, put it in the bin, put a fresh one up. Really good for, jotting down goals or the usual stuff that you use a whiteboard for, without having to actually fix a physical whiteboard to your wall. And you could just move it around. You could have a wall full of them if you really wanted to, if you wanted to look insane. They're very good. That's kind of it. This side, bookcase, pretty self-explanatory. Books, most of them I haven't read. I don't read books. I don't have the patience or the focus to read books. I can't be bothered. Obviously, it's like the whole entrepreneurial thing. You should read a book a week, or a book a day. I don't have the patience for that. I can't sit down and read a book. It's just not in my DNA to be able to sit down and read a book. So I don't. I just, instead of reading a book and learning about all this stuff, I just do the thing and just do it that way. That really is it. But I've got quite a lot of books. I will read some of them eventually. Most of them are Alan Partridge related. A lot of autobiographies, Richard D. Grant, Richard Branson. A few marketing books, of course. I'm a nerd on a lot of things, like astronomy. I'm published astronomer, so I'm in this book here, Astronomy Photographer of the Year. I was shortlisted for Best Newcomer. I'm in the book, so that's pretty cool being published. I've got it's called a mini museum. Turn it on. Oh, there we go. Literally is a mini museum. So it's got things from like the Jurassic era, from like meteors, all the way down to what have we got? Like a bit of the stage from Woodstock. I love these things. I'm going to get more. Just again, it just ticks all the boxes for a nerd like me. Mini museum. This is like the 5th one, I think, and they've done obviously 4 before it, but yeah, I love it. The usual thing. I've got my telescopes here again because I'm an astronomer, so I've got 3 telescopes, one upstairs in the attic. This is the main one I used. You won't understand any of this if you're not an astronomer, and it's fine. It's very confusing. It's a massive headache doing it, but it's something I enjoy. That's it. I've got the lighting here. This is my again, very good quality. I bought cheap in the past and it's just not been very good, so I just bought this newer, let's see if I can find the name of it, CB60, whatever that means. Just go on Amazon, newer CB60. That's the actual lamp itself, and you just get the stuff that goes with it, basically. That's it. And then the reason I got this stupid gaming PC is this monstrosity I have in the corner. So on top of astronomy, I like my hobbies, basically. Keeps the brain sharp, keeps me interested in things outside the business. So I got rather than just to buy a little steering wheel and race around on an Xbox, I thought I'll just build an absolutely ridiculous over-the-top triple screen racing sim rig in my office instead. Because why not? If you're going to do something, just go all out and just be an insane person like me. But I do have a few nice cars in real life, like a Ferrari. And what I found is it's very transferable. Obviously, the more you hone your skills on driving on here, the more you're more confident in the real world in driving something like a Ferrari, which, you need to be careful with for the most part. It's obviously got a lot of automations and computer systems to kick in, but it's still, you don't want to risk it, basically. So what I found is the harder I drive in this, I learn all the different nuances and tweaks. The better my driving is in real life. So it just makes things much more enjoyable, much more safer. That's it. So I have a racing grade carbon fiber bucket seat here, completely unnecessary. Then a lot of sim magic gear here, some inverted pedals down there. It's got like haptic feedback on it. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then these triple curve monitors, so the whole field of view it literally feels like you're in a car cockpit, basically. I love it. Again, I'm a nerd. That's what I do. And that's it. And then obviously on the wall there, I've got my 2 Comma Club award for crossing 7 figures with ClickFunnels, and a 2 Comma Club award for Kajabi for, again, crossing 7 figures, but using Kajabi as well. That's it. That's a lot to get through, but that is my office. It's where I spend some of my day. Obviously, if I'm not working, I'm on the racing sim. If it's clear at night, I'm out of my telescopes down there catching some deep space images. If you want to check out some of my deep space stuff, you can go on my Instagram, which I can link below. It's Carl But Online is my name on Instagram. Check out my space photos if you're interested. That's it. If you have any questions about what I've covered in my office or any of my gear or how I use it or anything at all, I'm happy to help. Just reach out below and have an awesome day.